This is the review of my setup I'm going to do for my fuel transfer system. So on the right hand side, you'll see there's a 36-gallon fuel tank. It's all steel. At the top, you'll see a fuel filter and an 8 gallon per minute fuel pump. And also at the bottom, you'll see a 25-foot reel oil and fuel hose system with the automatic rewind. So I'm going to go through each thing and kind of give you an idea of what I think about it. So first thing I'll say about this steel tank is that it's all steel, so hopefully rust won't be an issue. But it has two holes in it for the fuel. You can either put the pump in one end and then the cap on the other end, or the cap in one end and the fuel pump on the other end. So this is the fuel cap. Like I say, you can put it on either end if you want. One thing to consider with these tanks is that they can have a lot of trash inside of them. As you can see right here, if I can focus on it, a lot of little garbage inside of it. So yep, you'll have to clean it out before you use it. So this is the filter that I'll be using. It says Grotz, I guess that's the name of it. Removes water and debris. So I'll be using this on the system as well. So this is the 8 gallon per minute pump. It comes with a manual shut-off pump handle. And one thing I like about this is that it is all aluminum, so it's one less thing I have to worry about rusting. So that's that. This is the actual pump. So as you can see, that's what it looks like. It's from GPI. So that's the pump. It comes with a 10-foot hose, but I won't be using the hose. I'm going to be using my reel that I also got as well. And I'll show you what all that looks like set up. So again, this is what the pump it looks like, 8 gallons per minute. Basically what I'm going to do now is put one of the pipes on it. This is the manual, and it comes with two pipes that go down into the tank, but because my tank is not that tall, I don't really need both of them. So I'm just going to get rid of that and put this on there. As you can see, it extends, but we won't need the extension part. So we just put this here. So now you'll see that I could just slide this down into my tank. Just turn it a little more. Make sure that I tighten it so that it doesn't accidentally start sucking in air here. Okay, so that should do it. And I can probably just extend this, and then when I put it in, it'll come back down the other way. So now it's ready to be put on the tank. So now I'm going to put the pump in position. I'm going to use this hole here. So like I say, the pump's already got the suction on it. so now that the pump is installed, this is the switch right here. Turn it on and off. So the way it's supposed to work is when you stick the handle in, it's automatically going to turn it off. But I'm not going to actually use this because I'm going to use the rewind spring reel hose assembly. So this is just going to be an on and off switch. I may even remove this component here because I really don't need it. This is going to be used to hang it. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But for now, it's good to just have it hanging there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this and install my filter so that any problems that are in the tank, such as water or dirt, can be removed. So I've also have this filter installation kit, which includes a pipe and some other components that will go in between these two. So the first thing I gotta do is remove the little red plastic protective thing here. So that's basically it. And now I'm going to install this elbow. And you're supposed to use some pipe tape on it. I will in a minute, but I'm just going to kind of test fit it all. So about right here is where I kind of want it. I'll probably use like a pipe wrench to tighten it some more. Then I'm going to use my filter kit. And this is all like I think 3/4 inch. And then I'm going to install the filter. Like I say, for now, I'm kind of just test fitting everything. So as you can see, when the fuel leaves the tank, the pump pumps it up through here into the inlet, goes through the filter, comes out, and goes out that way. So basically that's what it's going to look like. So now what I'm going to do is tighten it with the wrench. One thing to keep in mind, this is aluminum. So the last thing you want to do is over tighten this because you could end up stripping it. All of this is, I think, steel or iron, I'm not sure. But again, this whole thing here is aluminum as well. So over tightening this could end up damaging the threads here, which would pretty much completely ruin that or the filter housing. So you got to consider that. But the best thing to do is just put tape in there and try to keep it from leaking. Of course, I won't know it's going to leak or not, if it's going to leak or not, until I actually put fuel in it and try to pump it. So we'll see what happens. But basically, for now, I'm just going to adjust my wrench and probably put some weight on it. And the nice thing is that these are pretty cheap components. If I were to damage this, I could just get a new one pretty cheap. Of course, I have to be careful here too, because this could be damaged as well. And now I'm going to use this 7-blade trailer connector for power. So for the most part, it's about 20 amps available on these circuits in the back of the truck. So in my opinion, there's really no point in running this all the way up to the front of the truck underneath the hood if you can just plug it into the 7-blade connector in the rear. So I'll be using this and putting it on the end of this this cord, and then when I need to use it, I'll just plug it into the trailer outlet for power. I think it only pulls 11 amps. So yeah, 11 amps. So that's less. It shouldn't blow the fuse or anything. So now that I've got the plug out of the package there, I just plugged it, put the wire into the back of the plug. And this is the part where you actually screw the fittings onto each wire. So we're only just using the auxiliary circuit and the ground circuit on this plug. So right here it says auxiliary. So I'm going to put it under auxiliary. Just like that. Then I'm going to tie it down with a screwdriver. You definitely don't want to move it around inside of the connector. So we always want to make sure we get good connections. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. So then the other side is ground, which on this connector is marked GD. So now I'm going to put that there. And right there. Now we can screw it in. And the nice thing about this is I can move it between vehicles as needed, because both trucks have the 7-pin connector on the back. So there's no need to hardwire anything. Of course, I could set up a connector, a quick connect type of system, but that should be enough. Again, we want to make sure it doesn't accidentally come out. Okay. Now we can slide this back up and put it together, because I want this fitting to actually slide on and clamp. I'm going to clamp this first. So I'm going to make sure that's in there first, then turn this. So as you can see inside, it's tightening. The screw is tightening on the insulation. So that way, basically, if you pull this here, it's not going to damage these wires here. Now we can put the wire down in there. So now that we're sliding it down in there, we can just turn this here and then tighten it back up so that doesn't slide back out. So there's like a little tab in there that won't let it come back out. that's pretty much it. So now we can test it and see what happens. We're not gonna run it for long, but I'm gonna test it and just kind of see if it makes any noises or anything. So this is the trailer tester analyzer circuit box that I've built. It has a battery in it, and I can turn on all the functions in order to turn on any lights that are on the trailer. So this here is a way of kind of testing this, because I should get power on this. The only thing is the battery's kind of small in here, but it does. It should at least make a noise to let me know that it's wired properly. So I'm gonna plug it into the port on the side of it, and I've got it wired up where it not only shows the output voltage, but it'll also show the current draw. So I'm gonna turn it on. And as you can see, our battery voltage is 13 volts. I think that's showing up on the screen. I'm not sure. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, 13 volts. And this is the auxiliary circuit. That's what we have plugged into it. Let's see, right now this is turned in. So we'll remove this. Again, I'm not going to run it for long, because the battery is kind of small in here. So I'm going to turn it on. So you can see it pulls about 2 amps. So it does work. Pulls about 2 amps. Of course, you're not supposed to run it dry, so that at least tells me that my circuitry does work. So all I would have to do, and again, if all it's pulling is 2 amps, that's nothing. Well, 2 amps without any load on it. Once it starts pumping diesel fuel, that amperage is probably going to go up. But right now, that's what it looks like it does empty. Pulls about 2 amps. So that's pretty good. So now I'll move on with the rest of it. So this is what the reel looks like. Very high quality, heavy duty stuff. It looks like they made it out of some sort of hydraulic hose. Very heavy quality, heavy duty. So I'm probably not going to leave it on top of this box, because number one, it's going to be harder to mount on top of the box. And number two, if I, have it where it's behind my back window, that could be harder to see out of. So I think I'm just going to leave it down on the floor, basically like this on the floor. And so what I'm probably going to do is come in with, build a pallet just for the purpose of having this and that bolted to it. And then all this moves as one piece. But other than that, yeah, it's heavy, very heavy. I don't know how heavy it is, but it's a very stiff hose. So yeah, that's basically it. So now I've moved my handle over here to the reel itself. So now it's just a matter of tightening up a little bit here, but it's now moved over. Now I need a right angle 3/4 inch fitting to go from here into the reel. So that way it'll go directly into the reel. But other than that, it looks good. I just don't want this to be, because it's so heavy duty of a hose, I don't really want it to be circling around inside, and definitely don't want it to get kinked. So I think if I put it kind of like this, and then put that right angle fitting in there, it should work just fine. So that's kind of how I want it to look, and it should be working. So this is what the pallet looks like. So that's going to be put onto the pallet and screwed down. Then they're going to put the holes in and start bolting everything together. So I'm using 3/16 bolts, drilling holes here and putting it back up. and using washers, and that's it for now. Like I say, I'll continue bolting it down to the pallet that I've built, or the stand, and we'll go from there. So now I'm going to use this 3/4 inch street elbow onto the reel, and once that's in there, then I will have my hose going from my filter assembly on around into the reel assembly. So 3/4 inch street elbow, and I'll tighten that up, and we should be good to go. So I just got finished coming back from the fuel station. I just put it here in the back of the truck. I didn't try to mount it or anything. So for now, we're just gonna put it in the truck, see if there's any leaks or not. I just went ahead and plugged this into the outlet on the back of my truck. So now it's just a matter of trying to use it, and hopefully there's no leaks. And then I'm gonna put some fuel in here in this generator and see what happens. So we'll go from there. Let's see. So I'm glad I got this long hose, just in case there's a problem. I can easily get to it. Oh yeah, I forgot I gotta turn it on. Kind of noisy. We'll see what happens. Let's see what it looks like. There it goes. Well, like it has some air in there, I guess. Had to get rid of that first. I might be really fortunate. It might have not had any leaks to begin with, so that's good. And I'm gonna take it out just so you can see what it looks like. So hopefully, but yeah, it's doing what I want it to do, so that's great. So yeah, it's tinted red for no taxes paid off-road. So that means at this point now I pretty much can't use the tank for on-road purposes, because then the red will get in the tank and it'll look like I didn't pay any taxes. So I can only use it for off-road, but that's what I got it for. Like this tank on this generator is about 30 gallons. So I mean, it seems to be filling pretty fast, but I don't know. Oh, okay, I see it now right here. So yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's doing a good job though. I like it. So yeah, it's pretty good. Let me see if there's any leaks. I don't see any leaks, so that's awesome. Oh, there's a leak right there. That fuel filter needs to be tightened up. Other than that, that looks to be it. So yeah, I like it. Hopefully the pump lasts with it making all that noise. But yeah, that's about it. So yep, I went on ahead and wrote the date for this filter. And also, I wish I could get a cover or something to go over it so that it doesn't get rained on, but I guess it's meant to be outdoors. But and also it looks like it drips a little bit after it's finished being used, so I gotta figure something out on that. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty cool product. It sure beats hauling 5 gallon canisters around. Those things weigh quite a bit of weight. So when you're trying to fill up something, you have to hold it up off the ground while it's filling it, and that gets old really quick when you're talking 20-30 gallons. So this is perfect. You know, all I gotta do is go fill it up with however much I need, and then turn around and dispense it as needed. So this will be great. And the plug here, that worked perfect. Like I say, if I need it, I'll plug it in. If I don't need it, I'll just take it out. So, yep. But yeah, the pump works. Fuel is very expensive because I mean it emptied this tank pretty quick. So, yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much it for now. That's the setup that I have. So that's it.